I'm back again with another new video. Let's talk about Cats. Not many of you have watched Cats yet. For those of you who have, I'm sorry. For those of you who haven't, though, there may be spoilers. Spoilers! No! Okay, so I watched the original recording back in whatever it was, the 90s. So I'm used to watching that other recording, the new 2019 version. It's cool to see everything all computer generated and the world kind of fleshed out, and it kind of helps pull you into the story a little more rather than being so focused on character. That being said, the CG is pretty creepy. I mean, the main character, Francesca Hayward, as Victoria, is phenomenal. Let's face it. Her face, her expressions, her dancing, her singing. If it weren't for her, the suspension of disbelief would have been kerplunk. There were some other good players. I really did like James Corden as Bustopher Jones. He was funny and he brought his own kind of spin to the character, and I thought he was very well cast. However, Rebel Wilson as Jenny Anydots did nothing for me. I don't dislike Rebel Wilson, but I feel like her voice was not really as beautiful as I've heard it before. The Jenny Anydots number was changed completely, and I feel that it lost some of the charm of the you think of the girls in the World War One or World War Two era who sang in harmony, the Something Sisters. I'm sorry, I'm totally blanking on the name, but there's that sort of cute little vibe to it that was completely destroyed. So the Jenny Anydots, not a big fan of that number. Robbie Fairchild was Monkstrap, and he was probably the weirdest looking cat, human, whatever it was. Robbie Fairchild, your voice was lovely, but Monkstrap is more of a storyteller, a narrator throughout the entire thing, and as an audience member, you felt a bit of a bond with him as the main narrative. You felt a certain trust in him, whereas in the 2019 version of Cats, Monkstrap felt a little more stern, a little more standoffish. I felt like Victoria was not as connected to him, and we didn't immediately trust him like we did the other version. Skipping around, Skimbleshanks. Let's talk Skimbleshanks, the railway cat, the cat of the railway train. The original version, he was jolly. He had a bit of an accent, as I remember. He was ginger, very likable. Cat of the railway train. In this particular version, who played Skimbleshanks? Stephen McRae. They gave him a mustache, like a Snidely Whiplash kind of long, upward, weird white mustache that was quite off-putting. Skimbleshanks looked a little more aged, which kind of works into the whole storyline of candidates who would go to the Heaviside Lair, aka heaven, be reborn. So it makes sense for him to be older. His face was just, once again, a little more serious, a little more somber, not as playful, not as friendly. The tap dancing was just, mwah, it was delicious. Listen to that tap dancing. It could have been an ASMR video all on its own. And also, speaking of butts, Skimbleshanks, check out that bum. Oh man. You may not have seen him at the beginning of the film. He's wearing bright red friggin' pants. How could you miss him? Towards the beginning of the film, I was looking for certain people, cats that stood out to me. Didn't see him until at least halfway through the film. Weird, right? Guy with red pants, he's obviously part of their crew. Where was he in the first half of the movie? Speaking of people missing through most of the movie, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift played Bombarella, I believe. Bomballerina? Whatever. I'm gonna call her Bombarella. She's a sensual character. She's kind of she's Taylor Swift. Number 1. Where was Taylor Swift the first half of the movie? I understand keeping a huge star like that in the later part of the film. You want the audience members to remain captivated and looking, but that was kind of cruel, Number 2, she mimicked an accent, if I recall correctly, like an English accent. Why? Why did Taylor Swift have an accent? Is it because, this place is supposed to be in London? I just found her accent unnecessary. She played a good part. She was a bit of a villainess. She probably had a lot of fun with that. It was unnecessary for her to be Taylor Swift. She was basically a henchwoman for Macavity, who was the main villain. The Macavity in the original film was much scarier than Idris Elba. Idris Elba did not believe in himself in this role. You could read it on his face. Why the hell did I agree to this? He's a beautiful man. He plays a great villain, but oh my gosh, what was he doing in this film? Even he didn't know. Sometimes he was a weird Dick Tracy type of film noir character, a dark magician. I thought the only magician in the story was Mr. Mistoffelees. Let's talk Mr. Mistoffelees. In the stage production, Mr. Mistoffelees had a much more light, flamboyant vibe. So lovable, confident, and he was wonderful. They made Mr. Mistoffelees a love interest? Why? Okay, I love rom-coms as much as the next person. Victoria didn't need a romantic partner. He was handsome. He brought his own character. Problem is, he took a role that was very integral to an entire story and made it unconfident, too focused on a love interest. It was just not quite as light and mysterious and magical. A facepalm moment. At the very, very end, Laurie Davidson, as Mr. Mistoffelees, kept mouthing the words to other people's lines. Are you kidding me? Old Deuteronomy. It could have worked. I mean, she certainly looked like a great big fluffy old lovable cat. She should not have had a singing role. The wrap-up was a little hard to watch. You were hoping for some kind of melody, but you were just too busy falling asleep and wishing the damn thing was over by that point. Ian McKellen as Gus the theater cat. You got a little more of the gravity of his role as a very strong candidate to go to the Heaviside Lair. They gave him more action than was originally written for the character, which I did appreciate. I love Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer from the stage production. Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer were a notorious couple of cats. From the movie, they completely screwed up the song. Not the actors, mind you, not the singers. The arrangement of the song. They made it slow, snappy, I guess, or sneaky. Film noir sort of feel to it. I missed the fun and energetic, sassy and adorable Mungo Jerry Rumpelteazer, sisterly, brotherly kind of competition, acrobatics. The film version had none of that. It was just taking a beautiful star, dulling it, smashing it to pieces, and making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of moldy bread with it. So disappointing. Another little issue I have with that, Their costumes in the stage production were more like tiger-type stripes. In the movie, they turned them into calicos. Let me repeat that. Mungo Jerry, Rumpelteazer, the brother and sister duo, were calicos. Calicos are female cats. A calico cat, according to Wikipedia, is a domestic cat with a coat that's typically 25% to 75% white with large orange and black patches. They are exclusively female, except under rare genetic conditions. Maybe they're tortoiseshell? No, they're not. They're calicos. Maybe this was one of the very, very super rare conditions in which a calico is a male. Let's talk Jason Derulo as Rum Tum Tugger. I liked the Rum Tum Tugger from the original stage play. Bad Boy Fonzie. The costume had a V of fur and very strong, pronounced shoulders. Jason Derulo as Rum Tum Tugger, he brought his own spin to things. It was much less sexualized. The most sexual character in this, the tomcat, a showboat of a cat. He loves attention. The sexual tension was not there. Nothing. Cats are slinky, they're sensual. That's part of their nature. How could I forget? Jennifer Hudson, Grizabella. Jennifer Hudson was the choice for Grizabella. She was not nearly gnarled enough for this role. She was still rather beautiful, if you ask me. She did not look like a has-been. Oddly enough, Jennifer Hudson's face, I don't know if it was a shape or the decision about the fur, tufts of fur right between the jawline and the ears. Her face to cat sort of transformation worked the best out of everyone else. Kudos to you for being catifiable. That being said, it was either a lighting choice or a facial expression wherein her face was either obscured halfway with shadows or one of her eyes was slightly blinkier than the other. She did a beautiful job, almost made me shed tears. I just kind of wish she looked a little more run down, a little more tired. She had some huge shoes to fill. Elaine Paige looked like a sad clown. It was very, very difficult to fill those shoes. Jennifer Hudson being as amazingly beautiful as she is, it was very difficult to try to dull her sparkle. The animators and creators of the environment were paying extra attention to all of the props to make all of the quote-unquote cats look proportionate to their environment. Larger trash cans, huge cars, tables, chairs, windows, you name it. At first it was a little weird for me because I still read all of the cats as humans. With all of these oversized props, it just kind of felt silly to me. I don't know how I feel about the environment and the proportions and all of that. I would have overall preferred the movie to be a little more stylized. I wish the movie were shorter, less realistic. What do you mean realistic? They're freaking cats. Singing, dancing, pirouetting, all that jazz. Different musical. What did you guys think of the 2019 version of Cats? Leave your comments below. And thank you for watching. Merry Christmas! If you haven't noticed, I am wearing my Christmas best. Happy holidays to everyone, and I'll see you later.